Hey, everybody, on this episode of Samp&Chance, we are going to preview the Payback pay-per-view that's happening this Saturday out of Pittsburgh. Also, we're going to take a look back at the All-In pay-per-view that happened from Wembley Stadium this past Sunday. Also, Mr. Michaels, CM Punk suspended again. All this and so much more on this upcoming episode of Samp&Chance. So strap in and thank you for letting us into your ears. Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Samp&Chance. I am your host, Bobby Sampson, and joined with me, my man with the master plan, Atlanta Braves in full effect, record-setting team, quietly getting done, Mr. Chance Michaels. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing pretty well. How about yourself?
I can't complain, man. It's Tuesday. It's raining. It looks like fall already started, but we're still in summer, but that's okay. I guess a cool down is nice, and the fires and everything could use a little bit of rain. So hopefully
We need that.
so hopefully that helps everyone out there fighting these fires, and it just, kind of eases the tension and the pain that a lot of people might be feeling right now. So hopefully that all works out for everyone. How was your weekend, my friend?
It was pretty good. How about yours?
Can't complain, man. Pretty straightforward, standard, nice and relaxed. I'm on a bit of a hiatus holiday, so
That's
a
always
little,
good.
yeah, a little bit more laid back, able to accomplish a lot in terms of Samp&Chance and other things that I want to get done. So I'm very happy. I'm very relaxed, and I'm in a good space,
Good.
man. Absolutely. But hey, I tell you what, my man, let's get right into it. Do you want to preview or review first?
Whatever you're feeling, I'm good to go with both. Why
Well,
don't
I'll
we
tell you what,
review
man.
the
Yeah, why don't
Wembley
we
show?
review? Let's start with that since it's already happened, and we can finish up with the Payback pay-per-view. So let's get right into it. All In took place this past Sunday at Wembley Stadium. Announced attendance 81,000,
Big crowd.
81,000 through 35 people. Sold tickets, that is. So they
So yeah,
sold 81,000. So that in essence now is more than SummerSlam 92 at Wembley and more at WrestleMania 2. They broke that record by selling those tickets. So this, before we get into it, what does this mean? Like WWE gives a lot more tickets away for free?
no, it means that England's starving for wrestling. Big show. AEW's never had a big show there, so I don't think they would never be able to get that number in America, North America. They can barely get 20 in there. So I think they're excited for AEW in Wembley Stadium. I mean, I think as the English fans are passionate. They're more passionate than North American fans. They couldn't even get 50,000 people out here. So I
Um,
think that's part of it too. The location. They did great. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying that is why.
yeah, no, no.
These guys at AEW performing about 3 to 4 times bigger audience than ever performed at because they don't get those crowds.
Well, some of the guys have been fortunate enough to perform in Japan
Yeah,
and
like
places like
Jericho
that.
and
So,
Punk and a few,
they've
but
had a
yeah,
couple of them, but no, 81,000, man, good for them.
yeah,
Here's some of the things that I took away from, okay? Just to be fair, I'm not
yeah.
shitting on the show. I thought the show was fun. I thought it was good. One, it was a little too long, but they do that a lot. So that's just kind of a part of what they do. The other thing I feel that they need to improve on, in my opinion, and I haven't shared this with you, and I've gone back to look at it, their angles and their
Yeah.
cutaways and their camera work needs to improve. Example, there were a few instances, and I can't pinpoint a specific one to be fair, but there were a few instances where something cool was happening in the ring, and then they cut to the crowd.
Yeah, the
So
production and the quality of the camera is
yeah,
not as good as WWE.
so the production, waned a little bit, and that kind of weighed heavy because there were, like I said, these were key moments in the matches where great things were happening, like the
Mm-hmm.
bunkhouse match, like the Stampede match they had. They cut away from something really cool about to happen,
Yeah.
and they go to the crowd or they do a faraway shot of it. So now it's like, okay, why am I watching this on TV? I should just probably be sitting in the upper bowl if that's the view you're going to give me on television.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
I totally agree with that.
that's my knock. That's my
I
knock.
did
And
like the ring. I like the colors. I like the entrance. I mean, they had a cool layout.
no, they had a cool layout. It was simple. It was nice. It was simple. It was effective, right? The other thing I probably would have probably commented on, I will comment on, is that I feel that they could have used the floor space better.
Yeah, that's fair.
in terms of spacing out. Well, you could have probably fit more in there if they had set it up, in a better configuration. I just don't understand that pointy configuration at one end where there's like 3 seats and those
Yeah.
get bigger. Like that didn't make sense to me. I just figured. Anyways, these are just
Another
nitpicky
thing
things,
a lot
right?
of people aren't talking about is Tony Khan spent quite a bit of money on the entrance songs. He had to pay Metallica to use Seek and Destroy for Sting. I think Queen, they use Queen.
Yeah.
There's a couple entrance songs used by big artists that you got to pay for that. That ain't cheap.
No,
Metallica and Queen are some of the biggest artists in the world. So I don't know what the price was, but they
no.
open up their wallet for this show big time.
Well, they did, right? And I believe they made a $10 million gate. So I don't know if they made anything back because, like you said, the songs, and it's not like he
Yeah.
got them for this one time.
Yeah.
He's got them for other things as well, right? So he's bought the rights for
To use those songs.
to
I
use
know it was
those songs
Metallica for Sting, and I know there was Queen. I can't remember if there's another band, but he had some big players out there.
Yeah, he absolutely did. All right, let's get into the show. So this show starts off with the kickoff 0 hour, which ran 2 hours. MJF and Adam Cole versus the Aussie Open for the Ring of Honor tag team titles. Ironically enough, these two guys 4 hours later down the road are going to be
I don't
in the
like
main
that.
event.
I don't like that because if you're having a main event, you get excited. I can't wait to see MJF. I can't wait to see Adam Cole. I can't wait to see Hulk Hogan or whoever it is. And you give them at the start of the show. I think that takes away from the main event. The main event was great, but I don't like how they did that. This is me.
Fair enough. I have been watching AEW a little bit more, so there's a little bit more context here to this.
I know why they did it, but I still don't like using your two best guys to do that.
No, I get it. But for those at home, just so they have a little bit of an understanding, basically these two guys fought for the world title at one time, and AEW tends and he lost. Adam Cole lost that match, right? By the skin of his teeth to see, right? What happened then is they had this impromptu kind of tag team tournament where they put random guys together. So, you'd end up with someone you never like, or a tag team that you never thought would have been done. In this case, this is what happened. They put MJF and Adam Cole together, and the story started. Now, MJF is funny as hell. He's talented. He's in the ring talented, and he's basically everything that Tony Khan wants, and he's gonna have to pay out of the wazoo to keep him. Right? He has to. He has no choice. Right? He's that good. The best thing AEW did is make him.
One of the only guys that they've made, but he's great. He's definitely one of their best.
Right across the board. So, anyways, they had that feud, blah blah blah. So they're just kind of building off of this. Are they going to trust each other? Blah blah blah. But I know what you're saying. All right, so they win that match, and then basically this is the interesting match. Also, a match that probably had no value, but the end of the match led into everything else that happened afterwards. Hook, the son of Taz, regained his FTR, also known as Fuck the World title, made famous by Taz.
Yep.
His son is now regained the title. He won it back from Jack Perry, former Jungle Boy, son of Luke Perry of 90210 fame, for anyone who doesn't know. So let's go back a little bit here very quickly. There was an incident a little time ago with Jack Perry and CM Punk backstage where Jack Perry wanted to use real glass as a prop in a match, and CM Punk said, "Hey, that's not really smart because that can really hurt you."
Yeah, he's right. Punk's right on that.
No, you can't. At the end of the day, experience is experience. You get cut with glass, that's a bad gash.
Yeah,
whenever it heals nice, it heals like a bubble, right? It's unfortunate. So that's basically what happened but I guess Jack didn't like it, and they had words and things like that happened at that point. Fast forward to this pay-per-view. There's this part where Jack is about to do something to Hook over this limo, and the glass in the limo breaks, and he makes a comment that's real glass or something, like a shot at Punk, right? He goes backstage. Punk is coming up for his match. He's the curtain opener for the pay-per-view, and they get into it.
Yeah, but the thing is, even though Jack took a subliminal shot at Punk, dude, you're 47, 48 years old, Punk. You're a veteran. You should know better. I mean, I get it. This guy was playing with you, but that's wrestling. You can't fight every guy that you disagree with. To me, I don't think Punk likes wrestling anymore. I think he's got that too cool for school mentality. He wanted to be an MMA fighter. He's no good at that. He's here for the money. I don't think he enjoys AEW. I don't think he enjoys the roster. I just think he does it for money. I think he's a miserable old man.
No,
he put in a great match, but I'm just telling you,
hey, look,
I'm gonna fight Perry over something so small.
Well, again, it comes down to Tony Khan.
Yeah.
And Mark Henry had made comments about this today on the Busted, or yesterday or today, I can't recall, but he made comments on it about it on
And
the
Mark Henry's
Busted
an
Ape. And
AEW employee for people that don't know. So he's
yeah, yeah. And he said that basically, like, these guys need to face consequences.
absolutely.
And none of them have, and this is why these things constantly keep happening with the same people over and over again,
But
right?
Punk's got to control himself, dude. Like you're a
Punk,
veteran, you're one
no,
of the top guys. Like you're gonna attack Perry because Perry took a subliminal shot at you, but you brush that off and go ahead, man. And you
no,
don't fight
Punk,
before you're
this is where you know who your real ring generals are. Pardon me,
yeah.
and the guys who pose as them, right? If
Yeah.
Undertaker was there, this none of this would have happened if guys like Taker's
Let me
persona.
ask you a question.
Yeah,
If that was Brock Lesnar, you think Punk would have went at him? If Brock Lesnar took a shot at him, heck no, he would have shook it off and went out to the ring. So Punk is bullying on the little guys, the young bucks and Jack. These guys are what 130 pounds. Hey,
yeah.
come on, Punk.
No, well, Punk should know better, but again, Jack Perry should also know better that you don't go after a monster that you know will attack.
Maybe Jack
Right?
Perry did that. Maybe he
Fair
wants
enough.
him.
Fair enough. All right, let's get to the card then. Yeah, let's get
Yeah,
this
let's go.
going. CM Punk defeated Samoa Joe.
Good match.
Punk's whole thing here, I'm the real world champion. So this is kind of interesting. I don't know where it's gonna go, but whatnot. He's coming out with the AEW title with the big, straight edge X on it.
Yep.
Good match, solid match. I love watching
Pepsi
these
plunge.
guys work.
That move hurt your knees, man. Taking that. So I
Oh,
mean, it's a good way to win it.
For
Good
sure.
match. Great kickoff match.
Absolutely. Good energy right there. We go right into the Bullet Club Gold versus Bullet Club Elite. I was surprised by this one. I really thought the Young Bucks was going to, I thought Bullet Club Elite would have pulled this off, considering how much the Gold Club has been taking advantage of them week after week after week. And in atypical storylines, you figure that's how it plays out, and the good guy gets his win at the end. They didn't get that here. So solid match, really fun, good really action. Good. Then we get into
Young Bucks matches are always good. It's always a lot of flipping and gymnastics stuff, a lot of it, but they work well. They're entertaining as heck, and the crowd loves it.
Look, bottom line is every match here, for the most part, is all about fucking spots and acrobatics, right?
Yeah.
So FTR defeated the Young Bucks. Really good match. Solid match. In my opinion, I still say one of the mistakes that WWE made was getting rid of FTR, letting them go.
Yeah.
They're just solid. They remind me of Arn and Tully. Their music is like that. They are this generation's brain.
It's hard to keep everybody on the roster, though. I hear you, though. They're good.
They are good. I mean, considering who they took and brought back and who they let go, you know what I mean?
Well, if you look at it that way, you absolutely,
yeah. Best friends: Orange Cassidy, Penta, El Zero, Eddie Kingston, and those guys go over the Blackpool
Combat Club.
Man, that's too much brutality.
Yeah, I know they were. What was it? What was he trying to drive into in Moxie's
head? Dude, he took those wooden skewers that you use for kebabs and stuff like that. I don't know how you make those a working thing, because those are wood. That Penta
that still hurts, even if you're working.
Pushed that in his head, and four of them stuck out like that. That just turned me off, man. Like,
that's too.
The Blackpool Combat Club is probably this fucking century's most sadistic faction I've ever seen.
I love Cesaro, Claudio. He's good,
dude,
man.
and they're good with those weapons. I know they're working them, but damn, they make it look good.
They do. That's a gruesome match. If you have a weak stomach or you're for the faint of heart, well, this wasn't the match for you.
Well, brother, man, if you go back and watch these BBC guys, through the weeks leading up to this was extreme. But some of the stuff they've done on TV is just, oh my God, so cringeworthy.
They're pushing that limit. WWE isn't going to do hardcore anymore. AEW is the only big promotion doing it.
But they're the only ones who are allowing color, right? WWE doesn't show the color, so
no.
And the one time, remember, Batista did it, and he got fined $100,000 by Vince for doing it.
Yeah, they're not playing around with that stuff.
No. All right, let's get right into it. Soraya versus Toni Storm versus Britt Baker versus Hikaru Ishida, the current women's champion. It's a given here. Soraya wins the title. First championship in a while at home in front of her crowd. Her mom got involved, which was kind of cool. It's kind of interesting. It was fun. It was a fun match.
That was good, decent.
Yeah, it was decent. Sting and Darby Allin defeated Strickland and Christian Cage. So the winner of this match would have gotten a shot at the if Chris whoever won, I guess if Darby and Edge, if Darby and
Thing.
Sting won, whoever got the pin would have gotten a title shot or something, I believe. And it was a
Darby did
coffin
most of
match.
the work in this match. I mean,
Yeah,
he did
yeah,
the work.
yeah. No, 100%. But Sting did take some spots, man.
He does take some spots, but
Yeah.
the thing with me is like I like Sting. He's never my favorite guy. He's all amazing. He's a legend. But seeing Sting wrestle with a shirt on and just like if you have to wrestle with your shirt on, he used to be a body guy. It's time to
Let it go. Step back.
I'm still glad that I still want him around, but does he need to be involved in the match? What is he, 63?
He's up there now. He's getting close to 65, but he's
An
doing good,
all-time
man.
great. Don't get me wrong.
Respect
I
to
love
him.
seeing him up there.
Yeah, hey man,
Yeah, he's
respect.
a tough guy. Tough guy.
I can't argue, I can't argue with what you're saying, but he did take some serious
Oh,
spots
heck yeah,
that,
he always does.
and I love the fact that they call it a coffin match. Did WWE, I put this in my notes as a question, did WWE copyright the casket, the word casket? Because they
Either
called
that or they're
theirs
trying to make something different.
different. Yeah,
differentiate
yeah,
themselves.
yeah. But they did really good with this match. I really enjoyed it. I'll be honest, I was kind of cringing on it, thinking about how they're going to do this, considering all the casket matches and everything.
Yeah.
But they pulled this off really nice, man. Like the leg, Christian putting his leg out, Swerve sticking out his hands, just the
It was
whole
good.
thing, right? That spot with Sting, Swerve threw the baseball bat in the coffin with Sting, but Sting used it to keep the casket
That was
open.
good. For me, I
so-
love lawn Sting. I love surfing Sting. That's my favorite version.
Fair
I like
enough,
the
man.
dark Sting.
So beginner Sting, the
Yeah, I
beginning
like him.
Sting,
Man.
right?
He's
Yeah,
a little
yeah,
more
yeah.
athletic, a little more buff, but
No, for sure.
all around amazing guy.
Now, I thought this was one of my favorite matches of the night. Will Ospreay against Chris Jericho. The reason I call it because Ospreay is the genius of. If Io Sky is the genius of this guy's right up there with him and Ricochet.
Mhm.
This guy can move.
He can fly, man.
Big. He can fly, and he's big, right?
Yeah,
Like Ricochet does all those things, but Ospreay can do everything that Ricochet can at his height and weight.
that's true. That makes it a little
Right?
more impressive. He
Makes
flip
it
him with
more
all that.
impressive. Now, the fact that he was able to pull some of these things off and Jericho was able to keep pace with him and work with him the way he did,
Looked to me like Jericho got hurt early on or something, but
he probably tweaked
pushed
something,
through it.
man. No, he
Yeah.
pushed through it. That's not his style of match, right? He's more a methodical, slow moving, crowd reaction based kind of wrestler. He knows
Yeah.
what to do. He doesn't have to waste.
I think
his
it was a sky
energy.
twister press or something. It looked to me like Jericho got
Yeah.
hurt after that, but he toughed it out.
No, he toughed it out, and he took.
And
a
I
couple
guess you got
more of
like,
those.
I'm not a big fan of Jericho singing at all, but I mean, it's cool that he got to sing his own song to come out to. That was cool.
That was cool, and doing that Freddie Mercury thing there as well. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah,
So they got Fozzy involved as well. So yeah, it was all good. But
great promotion for his band.
yeah, no, for sure. And I really liked that match, like I said, because I didn't know what to expect from Jericho because that's not the guy you would see him with right now, right?
There's moments where you think, "Oh my God, he's too old. He can't do it." Then he turns
That's it,
right, like
and that's it, and
50-year-old man. I got to give him credit.
no,
Great
and with a guy like Will Ospreay who's going to push you, right?
Yeah,
So just taking his age into consideration, taking the match, taking it all in, amazing,
absolutely,
amazing.
totally agree.
The Acclaimed with Billy Gunn against the House of Black. Great tribute to Bray Wyatt here.
Yes, I'm glad that Tony Khan allowed that. It was very good of him.
Yeah, I don't even know if Tony Khan would, if anyone cares what he allows. I think those guys would have
Yeah, he's doing it
anyway, right?
But has Vince ever allowed other guys to do tributes to other good guys passing from other promotions? Has he?
Yeah. With Brody and everything, guys had their.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Brody Lee. To be honest, a lot has changed, right? I think we're in an era of wrestling where the walls are still up, but you can look through now.
A little bit, yeah. They're
like even
not quite strict.
Even at AEW, they refer to him as Wyndham Rotundo and Bray Wyatt. They acknowledge them as both characters, right?
Yeah.
I mean, AEW's done it for a while. They'll reference WWE as WWE. There's no barrier. There's
Vince
nothing.
won't let WWE do that though.
Not to a certain extent, but he's slowly letting it down, right? But I think in a way, this is one thing that I will commend AEW. You're not letting your fans feel stupid. You know that other organization exists, and there's no harm in mentioning them by name, right?
Yeah.
That's my thinking, right? It's like, I'm not saying you're I'm not saying anyone's insulted or feeling
I
insulted by
think
them.
Vince more has a mentality. I'm not giving you guys a pull or a plug on my show.
Yeah,
We got the
yeah,
big audience. You ain't
yeah.
getting off.
No, for
That's kind of
sure.
his old school tough guy thing.
For sure, man. And
But
I don't blame him. That's
cool
how we
tribute
grew
to
up with
Bray,
it.
though. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Great
no.
job.
So and they put him over.
Yeah.
House of Black
Good.
lost the title, and they did the cool thing at the end. All three of those guys, bad guys as they are, they respected it and
That was
handed the
cool.
titles
Yeah.
over. That was a really good match as well, which leads us right into the main event of the night, 4.5, 5 hours later. Here's one thing I will say before this, okay? I watched the whole show in entirety. I didn't
Too
fast
much.
forward it. But here's the thing, a UK crowd never stops. This crowd had
No, they
its
keep
moments,
going.
but this crowd had its moments where it was quiet.
Well, yeah, dude. 4 or 5 hours of that.
Yeah, yeah. So MJF defeated Adam Cole. Really good match. I think
Oh, yeah.
MJF stole the show here again. It's hard to tell if he's a face or a heel or what's transpiring here. Both guys, the storyline here is who's going to turn on who. When will sportsmanship be thrown out the window? And as this match progressed, it looked like Adam Cole was willing to do whatever it took to get the title, where MJF wanted to be friends. He pulled out the dynamite ring, but he put it back. He had the title in his hands
Yeah.
to smash him, but he didn't. He had an opportunity to pile drive him onto the ring or onto the announce table, which had a metal bar in the middle, which we were told why it didn't break. All the things that he was going to do, Adam Cole did to him.
It was a good match and one of the best of the night. MJF, like you said, he's probably their best talent. I'm almost thinking now they're going to, I don't know, maybe this is the end of MJF and Adam Cole, and we're going to see, it's inevitable here. MJF, CM Punk, they're going to lock horns here. They're on a collision course. I'm not sure if it's right away next, but it's coming. The two biggest guys, right?
I implore people to go back and watch that feud. It's already happened once. Yeah, it's already gone down once. And it
but
was
this time
done.
they're the champs now, right?
But now one claiming I'm the champ, and the one saying, "Well, no, I'm
That's what I
champ."
mean.
You had to give up the title.
And MJF's even better now than he was the last time. So I think the feud could be even higher. I think they're on a collision course here.
Absolutely.
But who knows with Tony Khan?
Okay, man. I mean, normally we don't have a lot of positives to say about AEW, but I'll tell you what, man, I'll give the show a 7 out of 10. It loses marks on the simple things, bro. It's not the matches. It wasn't the quality of the matches. It was the camera cuts. It was the production for me personally. And basically that's my biggest knock. It would be the production value. They need to improve that. They need to figure it out. Whoever they have in the truck needs.
I just don't think they have the expertise and the knowledge of WWE and been doing it for so long.
No.
WWE is the best production of almost any sport.
Yeah,
it's unreal.
No, they are absolutely. But if you're going to put on a show at this level and you're going to have a crowd size that you had and you're broadcasting to the world the way you are, you got to have someone in that truck who knows what they're doing.
Absolutely.
That's all I'm going to say, right? Take nothing away. I think it hurt the card a little bit if you're watching at home. Like I said, there were a few moments where I should have just been in the crowd if that's the case, because they cut away at the wrong times. Now, I don't know if this is because we've consumed so much wrestling. We just know where to cut now. And I guess
that's
editing,
part of it. The average Joe watching it didn't notice that.
I guess editing videos and stuff like that kind of, tunes your eye a little bit to kind of cuts and angles as well.
The regular guy didn't even think twice.
For sure. All right, brother man, that happened, and we are moving to the Payback pay-per-view that's happening this Saturday. WWE's offering, it's coming from the PPG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, home of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Training camp should be opening up pretty soon in hockey too, right?
Yeah.
So Payback is all set. I believe we have one more show to go, which would be SmackDown. So if anything comes out of that, we'll update you in a reel or in a separate little post that gives us the details.
Not exactly the strongest card here. It's not bad, but it's not a blockbuster.
No, it's not a blockbuster, but I think we've talked about this before, Mr. Michaels, by where if you look at September and October, those are kind of just refueling and building up to Survivor Series and December and to the Royal Rumble where everything starts, right?
Yeah.
They say WrestleMania season starts in January. I always thought it started after Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Right?
Two matches that I'm looking forward to the most, just looking at the card at the top of my head here, is obviously my boy Austin Theory and Ray. That should be a good match. Super athletic guys. But I have to say one thing before I say this match. That promo that Miz did there on Raw is one of his best promos I've ever seen him do. It's some of his best work. So that feud with LA Knight, that's going to be a good match. I hope this feud continues on because they got some good chemistry there. Miz can put LA Knight over, hopefully, but they got to keep this feud going because these guys got some good chemistry. I'm looking forward to the match. And Miz, hats off to you. What an amazing job you did on Monday night, brother.
Another example of Miz doing what he does and not getting enough credit for you. Thank you, Mr. Michaels, for putting that.
And that's why he's had this job for 20 years, because he knows what he's doing. He doesn't ruffle feathers. He gets along and he's great at what he does. That's why they keep him.
And he takes everything in stride. I mean, for those who don't know the story of The Miz, very quickly here, this guy, when he joined, he wasn't accepted by anyone in the locker room, right? And he was alone. There wasn't that many other guys that were new with him. He was alone, and you're dealing with a locker room of old school characters at that time, right? New school was moving in, but old school was still very much running the show.
Oh yeah.
Very simple act of eating fried chicken got him kicked out of the locker room by Chris Benoit, right?
Scary dude.
And he never complained. He never made a stink about it. You never heard about it. This guy had to change in the public washroom. He had to find a closet. This is how bad it was for him.
Yeah.
It wasn't until Benoit died, the Undertaker came to him and said, "Hey, come back.
You can get back in. Now the guy's gone." Yeah.
Yeah, right. So, but through that whole time, he never complained about anything. This is a man who has done every single thing they've asked him to do, every angle, every program, every character, embarrassing, stupid, non-relatable. He's done it with a smile and he's made it work. We need you at this radio station. There is no one as hardworking. The only other guy that I can compare him to would be John Cena in terms of what he does outside of the ring for the company.
It goes to show you, Miz is the complete opposite of CM Punk.
Yeah.
He's a hardworking, clean cut, positive attitude, do anything for the company. This is why he's kept his job from him. He's made a ton of money doing it. So I mean, he's great. He's an all-time great, Miz. He'll go, when we look back on it, when he retired, we're going to consider him an all-time great.
He is. He has to be, right? Just for his longevity, for his ability to do everything.
His quality of work.
And his quality of work, and watching him evolve. He's become a great worker.
Absolutely.
Right? He's at that point where he can teach the young guys now from him. And that's the beauty for the Miz, right? You think about it. Here's a guy who didn't have a Miz in his corner, but now he can be there for someone. Yeah. And you're seeing this in his feuds and things that he's doing, right? All right, so let's break
this LA feud. It's going to be good with LA Knight.
Definitely. Let's break this card down then really quickly here. And so let's start with Seth freaking Rollins going up against Shinsuke Nakamura for the World Heavyweight title. Pretty cool program here. I love how Shinsuke's done a 360 in his character. Very dark, very elusive, and just the way he's talking, I love what he's doing. Those kind of undertones. Seth's broken back is being brought out into the light for this match, right? This is the selling point. Now, does Seth lose and this gives him the opportunity? Are they setting up to allow him to get away for some work on his back? Because he is broken. He needs work.
Yeah, no, he's not gonna lose it to Nakamura at Payback.
Okay.
If he's gonna lose, it's gonna be at a Survivor Series or Royal Rumble. He's not gonna go down.
Right. Okay, so we're both in agreement. Well, I agree too. I don't think Seth loses it here. I think it's going to be good, but I don't think this is going to end the feud. I think this will go to a Survivor Series or something. That back is going to, be a big part of the show. So let's see how they play that and whatnot. So we kind of got that. So we both agreeing Seth is going to take this one. Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez for the women's title. I'm going to say it straight up. Rhea's going to beat her. She's going to win the title. That's not to say that this will be revisited and Raquel will get it eventually.
Yeah, not a Payback. Rhea's on top of her game right now.
Yeah. But we are going to see the emergence of Raquel. We're going to be able to see a lot more substance. And the fact is, outside of Bianca and Charlotte, the only other woman in the Federation that can probably challenge her is Raquel Rodriguez.
Yeah.
So that's going to be an interesting match. Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus in a steel cage. Trish, for as long as she's been around, she has never participated in a steel cage match.
It's good for her. Another feather in her cap.
Yeah, no, 100%. But you know what? Everything dictates Becky will take this match.
I think so too.
Right? This is kind of the closing.
Trish don't need the win. This is just get her in the cage for fun. It'll be a good match.
No, for sure. But you want to screw everybody up? You want to screw up bets? put Trish over, right? And
Yeah,
who knows?
no,
Maybe they will. Maybe this might be one of those things where it would just be like not a cheap win, but just like a quick roll up or something, like something believable. Like okay, she got it and she runs away, right? So anything can happen. I mean, like we said,
absolutely.
on the show that we saw on Sunday, you would have thought the Young Bucks were going to take that, but they lost,
That's true.
right?
No,
So
never know in wrestling.
no, for sure. Rey Mysterio versus Austin Theory for the WWE
That's a
United
tough
States
one.
Champion. I'm gonna go Austin Theory because the reality of it is Santos Escobar was probably supposed to win the title and then lose it to him again, sort of deal. Go ahead and
Yeah,
go back and forth with it. I can see Austin winning this match and then starting the feud that he was supposed to start with Santos.
I think you're right. But the only thing is, why do they want the Brady even have the belt for 2 weeks? Just to
Well,
give him.
the same reason they gave him the belt for 24 hours.
Yeah, yeah.
The same reason
I
they
think
gave any.
Austin wins. I hope he wins. I love Ray, but
Yeah,
he's
yeah, yeah.
young.
No, no, but I think this is why they're doing it. They put it on Ray to get that pop that they needed,
Yeah,
okay, and to let Santos finish his recovery. You get that off of him now. You put it back on Theory. Now Santos can step in, and now you can get the real feud
yeah.
that was supposed to be happening here, right?
Should be a good match though. I'm looking
Yeah,
forward to that one.
no, 100%. So I think we're both in agreement when we say that we're
Okay,
going Austin Theory, right? Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn versus Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Damian Priest. Owens and Zayn are going to take it only because those two guys aren't going to get along. I think this is where JD McDonough makes his mark and joins the Judgment Day, and you see them turn on Damian Priest. If they don't turn on him on Saturday, you will see the turn
it's
officially
coming.
take place Monday within the next little while here.
Yeah, yeah. I don't see Owens and Zayn losing the belts. Not to them. Not right now.
No, and last but
Should be a
not
good
least,
match though.
no, it should be a great match. Last but not least, LA Knight versus The Miz. We've kind of already talked about this in detail. If everything is pointing in the direction that I believe it is, the story's not over. I believe LA Knight will win, just to keep that momentum going, but that won't be the end of The Miz. I think
I got a weird feeling because almost every match just seems all the favorites are going to win. It almost seems too obvious. Maybe let the Miz win here, gets a quick roll up or something, and LA Knight keeps chasing him. They have it at a bigger pay per view, and then he finally puts him down, almost like Cody and Brock thing.
kind of like what I said about Trish and Becky,
Yeah,
right? But here's the problem,
something's
brother
got to
man.
give him one of these
No, no,
matches,
something
right?
has to give, but I think this is a problem that is exclusive to us and to people who are in this genre
Yeah,
and realm of world. We're almost jaded to the fact that we've called this whole card because
yeah,
without even realizing it, we already know what the story is going to play out as, right?
yeah.
So when we're saying hopefully this happens, it's because we're hoping for it to go in a different light or direction.
Could be the
It's
match of
tough.
the night here with maybe not the moves, but the chemistry, the psychology. This match
Yeah.
is gonna be off the hook.
I think the psychology, again, I won't go move for move. I think if you're
No,
looking for best fight of the night, I think we should probably be looking at the Shinsuke versus Seth
Seth.
match. And again, I would like to maybe think about the Ray versus Austin
That's
match,
gonna
but
be good.
that should be fun as well. But if you're talking move for move and just beautiful flow, then I think Seth and Nakamura will be that. But again, I think psychology, facial expressions,
Miz and LA, I got that.
less is more type of match.
Yeah, this is an old
That's
school match. This is
yeah,
more, yeah, a
less
little
is
more
more.
methodical, a little more slow paced, where the
Less
punches are gonna hurt more.
look, it's like this, man. I was telling someone last night the difference between less and more, because someone asked me, I mentioned it, less is more. And I explained it this way. I said, if you look at Will Ospreay and Ricochet, they can go through a 3-minute sequence of these amazing moves where they're hitting each other really hard, landing really hard, and the crowd is cheering at the end of it, right?
True. Yep.
Now, Hulk Hogan can turn bad, grab your favorite guy by the hair and throw him down to the crowd and just stare onto the crowd and laugh and get the same reaction.
Yeah. It's all
Less
about
is
the
more.
psychology. Yeah.
Psychology, right? Less is more. Why should I, risk getting hurt and putting myself in a place where I have to work hurt or can't work the next 2 nights and not get paid, or just throw some guy down and laugh at the crowd and get the same reaction? Psychology.
Yeah.
That's psychology, right? So, all right, man, we've kind of previewed both those shows. We
Yep.
reviewed and
Reviewed
previewed.
and previewed.
Great night of wrestling. Not much really happening in the world of wrestling outside of people just dealing with Bray and Terry Funk.
Yeah.
And a second shout out to Abe Jacobs again. So a lot of Bray Wyatt stuff. I have to say, I can only imagine how hard it is to have had to work this week for those rosters because the shows didn't stop. House shows stopped
Terry
going
Funk one
on,
doesn't
right?
sting as much because most of these guys don't know him personally, but Bray
No, no, no,
Wyatt was
no, no.
working every
Obviously,
right.
obviously, right? Like if you
Yeah,
go, if you look, okay, Bruce Pritchard did a Terry Funk tribute on his show, right? It all depends on the podcast and the host and where they come from and what part of wrestling
yeah,
history they belong to. Of course, this roster knows Terry Funk, but they don't know Terry Funk. If they
yeah,
only,
yeah.
which is why Cody did the eulogy, if you want to call it that, for him on SmackDown. Because if
Yeah.
there's anyone who knew him better on that
As a kid,
roster
yeah, it's him.
as a kid, is him, right? No
Yeah,
one else would have known him on that
no,
roster the way he does.
maybe Triple H a little bit. Like maybe
Maybe
him out
Triple H,
well.
but the only other guy that he's not there would have been Randy Orton
Yep. Hopefully he comes
or
back too.
Natalia,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, she probably was
right?
around him as a kid
And it's
too.
kind of funny because you think about it, like Natalia in her comments when she's talking about Bray, and I didn't think about this. Like at kids when we used to play, all these kids used to run around the backstage area, right?
I
When they
know
were
it's crazy.
small, like backstage was their playground.
Hmm.
You think about it,
Yeah, it's sad.
right?
Too bad,
So
especially for Bray being so young.
Bray's so young, and just to add on this, I will implore everybody if your doctor recommends something, just think about it and think about that recommendation. The reason I say this, Chance, is that it came out and now it's all hearsay. No, I don't believe in coulda, shoulda, wouldas. It is what it is. But they are saying that the doctor had recommended that Wade, or sorry, Bray Wyatt wear a heart defibrillator, like something built in
Yeah,
or
slashing
whatever
Guns N'
that
Roses
is.
have it. When you're chest and it keeps your
Yeah,
heart breathing at a proper
yeah,
rhythm,
yeah,
or you risk heart attack.
and he
And he wouldn't do
declined
it.
it. He declined it.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, who knows? Maybe he felt that having that would make medical. I'm just thinking out loud. Okay, I don't know. I don't know
Well, it
what he
was the
was
only
thinking.
public guy that I know about, and Ric Flair has one.
Yeah,
But for a younger guy, when I read the Slash book, he had something like a weird algorithm in his heart. The doctor put a defibrillator in, and you can still run around on stage, play a guitar all day. And he put it in. He says, "Heart feels fine."
yeah.
If Bray would listen to the doctor, his heart would have kept beating on the proper
Well,
rhythm. He wouldn't have had a heart attack.
I look
I
at it
could see
from
if the
this.
doctor said take a bunch of vaccines, a bunch of shots, think about
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
But
yeah.
this one is safe.
No, no, for sure, for sure. And I think
Wow.
I'm gonna look at it from this perspective. I'm sharing it from my perspective. I can't
Yeah,
read
I
his
never heard
mind.
that one. Too bad.
Nobody knows what his last thoughts were or what his, thinking was. But the way I kind of look at it is very from this perspective. As men, even women, but men especially, there's a few things that we carry very strongly. Is our ego
Hmm.
and it's our pride.
Yeah. But
Now,
nobody would have known.
no, no, no. But here's the thing. He did, and this is what it's about:
Yeah, I
pride
know.
and
I know.
ego. Right now, we would have known as fans, but WW would have known. Their doctors would have known if he was looking to come back, trying to make his comeback. Something like that would have pushed it back, or they may have looked twice or reconsidered things because you're in a business where your heart's going to go fast. You're going to beat, it's going to beat, you're not in a slow pace industry,
No.
right? I get that. So I can understand maybe
And
he
don't
was
forget,
thinking,
people forget, Bray had some of the best heart doctors in the world around. These aren't just a
no,
walking clinic, guys. These are
no,
top
hundred,
doctors.
100%.
Wow.
Now, ego and pride, Mr. Michaels, are a
Yeah.
great thing to have and are essential as a man and a
Yeah.
woman. But I am emphasizing man because that's
Yeah, no,
just
you're
who we
100%
are.
right.
We are prideful
And
from
maybe he
the
had another
beginning.
doctor said, "Oh, you'll be okay." You just never know, right?
Possibly. But like I'm saying, I just want to finish with this thought. Pride and ego are essential, but pride and ego are also the most detrimental things that we have to work with as men.
Yeah. And even if he couldn't wrestle for a year or two, they could have used him as a manager, a character. Like
They could have, but
something would have been worked out.
who knows what he was thinking, right?
Yeah.
Maybe he thought, "Oh shit, I've already been sick. I can't be sick again. I gotta come back," because nothing was told, and that's the sad part. I wish they had shared a bit of this. I think a lot of the comments, I think some of the things that we said on our show in terms of his ability and what he's putting out there, if we had a better picture of what we were seeing and what he was dealing with backstage, I think we would have understood it a bit better, right? what I take
Well,
away
they
from
don't want
all,
to come across as weak by
no,
telling us that either, right?
no, I understand that, but my lesson from all of this, Chance, is very simply, I I will work very hard not to judge now, and try to judge based on understanding opposed to my own feeling or volition towards the thing, right? That's just
Yeah,
how
but we
I
also
want
have to
to.
call it as we see it. We don't know what's going on in the
No.
background. Right?
We have to
I hear
call
what
it
you're
as
saying.
we see it, but I want to call it as I see it with a little bit more tact and a little bit more discretion. That's what I'm trying to get at, right?
Yeah, that's
I'm not
fair.
going to shy away from it. I'm not going to shy away from the truth. But if I
Mhm.
don't have the truth and I don't have all the information, I'll still say what I have to say, but I'll make sure I make a point of saying this is only based on limited information
Yeah.
and whatnot, right? Something I didn't do before. These are the things that I learned since last Wednesday about us, about the show, about how I can do this better.
Yeah,
And
it's fair, but we
right.
we don't know. Like if you watch a boxing guy, he has a bad night. We can't guess. He might have a medical condition. We got to say he
No,
didn't do good.
no, he didn't do good. No, absolutely. But it's how I say it now is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, going to be a little more gentle.
Understanding about it
Yeah,
and gentler about it. That's what I'm saying. I'm not going to
fair
stop
enough.
saying that guy looked like a clown. Oh, he broke his
Yeah.
hand. Okay, well, it is what it
Oh,
is.
I hear
I
you.
get
I
it.
hear you.
Right. And a prime example of that will be on our next show, when we preview and review the fights of the weekend and whatnot. A
Mhm.
lot to touch on there as well.
Yeah.
Controversy, I don't know, but we'll get into it on that episode. All right, Chance, do you
Everybody,
have a top five or anything before we cut this off here?
I do. Yeah, I want to hear your top five favorite Miz moments.
Top five Miz moments. Number one, when he came out in the bald skull cap and acted as Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Good. Yeah.
Last night when he came out as LA Knight. When he had Damien, what's his name, has his body double.
Yep.
Mizdow.
Yeah, Mizdow
Right?
was good.
That
Damien
was fun.
Sandow. Yeah.
Damien Sandow. So Mizdow was fun. Um, his victory over John Cena at WrestleMania, I thought that was awesome.
Big.
And number five, his work with Dexter Loomis. I like that feud.
Where
Contrary
is
to
Dexter Lumis?
he's, well, like I said, all that whole crew's kind of just in the shuffle right now. Here's a roster that's not oversaturated, but they're finding a space for
Yeah.
everyone. All right,
Yeah.
Mr. Michaels, I
All
tell
right,
you
man.
what, brother man, we got to wrap this up here. We'll get going. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. And my name is Bobby Sampson. He's Chance Michaels.
And in the words of the great AC/DC, those that download, like, subscribe to the podcast, we salute you.
We do salute you, and everybody, please be safe. We will be back on Thursday with our boxing show. So up until then, drive safe, think safe, just be safe, and get home to your families that love you. In the words of Ed Whalen, everybody, in between time and in between time, that's it for Samp and Chance. Everybody, God bless and have a great day.